Welcome to Beyond Our Focus. I'm Stefan, this is Amanda, and this is Breaking Prisms for May 7th, where we go over the Twilight Zone and Black Mirror. Black Mirror is a little bit on a hiatus. We'll get back to the final season of that at some point, but we're going through the new season of the Twilight Zone. We're on episode 6, 6 Degrees of Freedom.
Woo!
So, we'll see how we like it. We've had our ups and downs with these episodes, so...
Yeah, pretty much. It's been...
I mean, this was scheduled to be on the good one.
Yeah.
Compared... We went good, and it was like bad, good, bad. It's like, oh, please, let's just... Which has me real scared about the next episode.
Yeah, I'm concerned. But the next episode does look like it has a pretty interesting cast, but it has a very overused storyline. Yes,
but I can also see where that could get very political very quickly if they want to insert said message heavy-handedly.
It seems like it's gonna be a more feminist.
It does, and I'm afraid that instead of being a little feminist, it's going to be super feminist because of other episodes that have been super heavy-handed. And it's like you can say a message without beating us over the head with it, like this episode did.
Which technically, even if the next episode never says it out front, because it is something going on in the world, people are automatically going to be, this is clearly a feminist message. And it's like, really, it's a plot that's been used a bunch of times, and I can't think of the main movie or show that it was used in, because it was clearly that movie.
Yeah, I've seen something about it as well. We'll have to wait till next week and just see how it actually pans out. I'm hoping for the best.
Yes.
But with our on our schedule of how these episodes work, we're scheduled to have a bad one.
I don't wanna.
So we'll hope for the best. So top level, what do we think of this episode before we jump into spoilers?
We didn't even go into this. We're good. We're good.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, before we go into spoilers, I was like, we didn't even tell him what it was about. We started talking about next week's episode, but that's fine.
I agree. That's what I mean. Our top level about this episode. We haven't said anything really about the episode. We kind of been talking about everything else.
How do we feel?
How do we feel about the episode? Quick summary. People go to space.
Yes. People go into space. That's about it.
I mean, if we were to spoil the first 2 seconds of the episode, people are in spaceship. They're going to Mars because the planet's interstellar. Think interstellar. That's what I thought. The planet's kind of working against us because of global warming and climate change and stuff along these lines. Things aren't looking fantastic. We're looking to populate Mars and something, or trying to get to Mars to do something there. So they're about to take off. It says there's been missile strikes on certain places. Should they go? Shouldn't they go? Maybe should they? Shouldn't they? And they go into space.
Yes.
And it's about getting to Mars.
Yes.
That is the episode in a nutshell, with telling you exactly what happened in the first 5 minutes of the episode.
Yeah.
And it's a 54-minute episode.
Yes. So this one was kind of up in the air because it's really good as far as plot. It's really good as it's interesting. It is a little slow. It's slow paced.
It is.
You wouldn't really tell because of time change not really evident, but it is slow paced.
There is an issue with the episode. It is that it's a little slow, and it does a lot of time jumps, but those time jumps aren't very evident. It does look like, hey, if they weren't telling you there was a time jump, this could have been a 5-day trip.
Yes, exactly.
And it's like, that's not a good sign.
No, there's really no change in character appearance to make it feel like time has passed.
A little bit. Jerry's beard grows a little bit. Not a lot for 7 months, but a little bit.
And Catherine has a rash that gets bigger. That's about it.
Yeah, so not as much as you would hope for a 7, 8, 9 month trip.
It was 200 something days that they started out with. 211, I think, was the first number that appeared.
I thought it was bigger than that. I thought it was
289, and then I don't know, and then it jumped down to
Needless to say, it's
big
a long
jumps
time.
Without change much.
Yeah, and then not enough change.
Yeah,
but if there is a downside, that is the only real big downside to this episode. Like we've done a lot of episodes, great episode, except this one nitpicky thing. They were didn't like that as much.
Yes. This one, that's I would go with that. It was still very interesting, very catchy, enough to keep you interested. Like, even at the slow points, something would happen to where you're like, I gotta know what happens. I gotta know.
Yeah, each little thing, there's a reason they're showing what they're showing, and things get mysterious at certain points. You're like, what's about to happen? What's going on? There's too many secrets in this place. What's going on?
Yes, they gave you enough suspense to where even during the emotional kind of slower times, you're like, are you up to something?
Exactly. Are you up to something?
Yeah.
So I know some things we've seen, like this is reminiscent of some of the other older Twilight Zone episodes, as far as I shot an arrow into the sky.
Yes.
And third from the sun.
Yes.
There are definitely reminiscences of both of these episodes in this, clearly.
Apparently there is another one, but I have not. We did not review that episode before starting the season.
Yes,
so
we will end up getting to it when we get back to the original Twilight Zone after this is done, which we only have 4 more episodes left, so it won't be too much longer.
Oh, if that means that if it's bad next one, and then good next one, and then bad, well, we'll at least end on a good note.
Let's just hope it gets better all around. We're looking for that wow episode. We haven't quite hit it yet. So, other than a little bit slow, I thought the episode was quite enjoyable.
I agree.
The characters were good. I think in some instances they could have been a little better, but they were good. I enjoyed watching everybody. Of course, it's always beautifully shot.
Yes.
Jordan Peele, even though I'm a little disappointed he only appeared once. The second episode, he didn't appear in the end of the episode.
Yes.
We get, of course, his voiceover, but we don't actually physically see him. And us seeing him in this one was one of my favorite ones. And it was just a cool pan out and switch around to the ship, and you hear him talking, and you hear the door open up, and he kind of walks through. He just has a certain presence to him.
He's eerie.
He is.
Like, he's able to keep this straight face, just staring into the camera, all nonchalant. Like, he's like, what I'm telling you is something you need to hear. And then it's like your life depends on it. It's just he has that look like you need to hear what he's saying because you're trapped with these people.
So, and the more I see him go through the episode, each episode, I like his part, just his little narration and them showing him. Mm-hmm. I prefer when they show him. I don't like when they don't. Like at the end, it's like I get why they didn't, but I still would have liked to see him.
Like, even if that's going into later.
Anyways, let's rate it and move into the spoilers for a couple minutes before we end out.
I am going to go ahead and say we only lost one companion cube, mostly based off that little time jumpy thing. Where the fact is, you would not know time has passed at all if not for literally a timestamp shoved on the screen.
Yes, which feels like the only reason we have a timestamp. It's just to let you know, time's passing. Yeah. So yes, that is by far the biggest issue with the episode, which isn't really a big issue, but it's also an episode that I felt like could have probably, instead of being a 54-minute episode, if this would have been more like a 40-minute episode, it wouldn't have felt it dragged as much.
Yeah.
But I also don't really know what you would cut to make this work better either. Because a lot of what they build... I mean, that took... Not 15 minutes worth of time. Whoops, I hit the microphone.
Bam.
Pretty much. So, like you said, I agree. 4 out of 5. Lost one poor companion cube. Poor fella. But he tends to get lost a lot.
All right. Only one this time.
We are moving into spoilers for about 5 minutes before we end out on the show. So, if you haven't seen it, I'm glad you watched this. Hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye, folks.
Yes. Do not... This is one of those episodes. Do not watch this if you want to be... Like, if you want to enjoy the episode for the first time. Do not watch this beforehand. These are actual spoilers for this one because the ending is worth it.
Yes, it is worth it. So that's all, folks. Yes, it was bad. Moving on into spoilers, which really is just the ending.
Yes.
The ending is the spoilers, or Jerry's meltdown.
Yes.
And the ending is
Jerry's
spoilers.
meltdown, and then pretty much the reasons why he had a meltdown. That's the spoiler.
So, yes, we get on the ship. A few things happen. There's that lady trying to make something, and we're like, "Ooh, this is suspicious." And like, oh, and then Jerry, we go into the bathroom. We get a first-person view from Jerry. This weird scene, and then Jerry opens up the toilet, reaches into the toilet, and then wipes a piece off, and then looks at his hand. And it's like, And we're like, weird.
We went through so many transitions with this, because it went, for me, first off, if this was a Black Mirror episode, when he's looking into the mirror and he pulls out something, I'm like, he's killing himself. Like, if this would have been a Black Mirror episode, that would have been a knife. Like,
Black Mirror gets dark quick, and
it was a flashlight.
I expected something to happen.
Yes.
Just especially because of our view. It's like, something's going to happen, something's going to happen, something's going to happen.
Appear in the mirror, something, he's going to do something. Yeah.
Nothing happened.
No.
So
the second thing that came up, because you said it out loud even, but we were both thinking it, was, is he a creeper? Like, did he put something in the women's restroom? Because we didn't realize it was a single thing that changed gender.
Yeah, it swaps according to who's in, which is still weird. It's like, why? Like, unisex bathroom, fine. There's only 5 people. You don't need multiple bathrooms. Perfectly fine. But for the bathroom switch from who walks in it to if it's male or female, it's just like, why?
I don't know, because
unnecessary.
Because in both scenes where they show the toilet, it is the exact same toilet. It's not like they switched between a urinal and a thing magically.
Not sure.
I don't know.
But anyway, so we move up into one of these little later dates, and it's the captain's birthday. And it's like, okay, and then we look. They made the little thing the girl made with the music thing to surprise her. And this was a cool little scene. For the momentarily that it was. A cool scene for a moment. Until Jerry reveals he is the present for everybody.
Yes.
And he reveals, we're all in a simulation. This isn't real. Nothing here is real. This is all fake. Don't worry about it. Nothing that has happened or will happen soon.
About to happen soon, yeah.
Is real. And then on cue, something happens. Yes. And there's a solar flare. Which we're going to have to get into theories.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about any of that, because.
And then Jerry opens up the airlock, and we don't. There's a large light, and it's like maybe it looks kind of maybe a solar flare, maybe sunnish. Jerry's gone. We assume he got sucked out the space lock. We don't know. No one really knows what happened.
All I know is that is probably the least violent airlock I've ever seen.
Yes.
That's in every single space thing ever. When that airlock opens, whoop-boom!
And that's why it's even more suspicious. And then we basically get a time cut. They talk about Jerry briefly. It's weird.
It's literally months later.
Yes.
And it's, why don't we get the paranoia? Why don't we get the anything?
And then they show one little thing where she checks the bathroom for these cool crystals that Jerry had experimented. There are crystals. Jerry was wrong. Yeah. And like, we didn't see crystals earlier, so was Jerry really wrong, or was he not wrong?
Was he crazy? What, I don't know. I don't know if he's crazy.
And then we're about to land on Mars, and we successfully land on Mars, and it's like, well, time to see if Jerry was right or wrong. Let's open up the hatch. We open up the hatch, or the little front window thing, and it's like, all right, looks like they're on Mars. Yeah. And then I was like, are we just going to end here? Is this just going to be the end? And I was like, that's going to kind of suck, because we need something more.
So we start panning out, and then it pans out further until it literally becomes a screen, and then multiple screens, and you hear this kind of alien language thingy.
Yes.
And you see translations at the bottom.
And you see a naked man on the ground, and then it's Jerry, and the aliens are talking about, well, they've crossed the great...
it's the Great Filter, which she even said it. The captain said it herself. She said, "We've made it through the Great Filter," and then even these aliens repeat it, saying they made it through the Great Filter. No one's made it this far,
and they are worth salvation. Humans are worth salvation, yes. And that's really it. And then he gets his narration and then saying, "You can't believe your eyes," and I don't know.
This was a mind trip. It was a literal mind trip. Like, I don't know. People are saying simulation. People are saying that it was real. That, I don't know. There's just a lot.
We talked about nuclear war in the beginning. Did the nuclear war happen? Was that fake?
Yes.
I mean, was it simulated? Was it not fake? The aliens have been watching them very apparently from the beginning since they left Earth. Yes. So
we don't really know if because the ship was sealed off, it's like they just said, hey, by the way, we're going to make these people believe their planet has been blown up. Let's see what they go through and then send them up. Or it could have happened and they say, okay, let's just observe and see if these humans leave, stay. Okay, they decide to leave. Okay, are they just going to burn out outside of Earth, or are they going to keep going? Oh, they keep going.
But even more so, Jerry finding out that they're being watched to a degree makes me more feel like it could be a simulation because the solar flare happened on cue.
Yes. Which
Jerry's found out, and all of a sudden everything goes haywire, and the one guy who seems to know more than anyone is gone.
Which could have been the one thing they do. The one thing that they do put out there to be like, okay, we can't let him ruin our experiment. Let's take him.
Or you could say they were in space, and because they didn't need them or being distracted by the fact that they are being watched and trying to figure out if this is true because they are actually in space. Let's get rid of Jerry real quick.
Exactly. That's what I just said.
But there was a lot of crap that happened to the ship as well. That if they weren't in space, y'all really there was a fire inside the ship. Let's try to halfway destroy the ship, but we also want them to get to Mars.
I don't know.
Or was the whole thing a simulation, and they actually still, even though the simulation did make it to Mars, so they still passed the barrier, so they're good to go, so we're saving them, or did the planet actually blow up, and they made it to Mars, and we're going to save these last 5 humans that didn't blow up, and save humanity with these guys.
Or Jerry was really crazy.
I just don't think that's the right one. I don't.
No, I just meant as far as, like, he caught on to something, but literally his mind started playing tricks on him to where he started seeing more than he really was. And he was like, I'm going to leave everything to this. And the aliens are like, dude, we need to pull him.
I fall on the side that I feel Jerry wasn't crazy. I think Jerry was more right.
Well, no. I mean, Jerry clearly saw something. I'm just saying, after a while, I don't
see that. That's what I'm saying. I don't think Jerry was crazy at all. I think Jerry was right. 100% right.
Dude, his mental breakdown clearly states that something, even though he was seeing things, which I totally believe, I feel that towards the end there, he really thought.
All right, we've gone longer than I wanted to.
I don't know.
Final thought.
There's a lot.
Was it a simulation or was it not? Yes or no?
I think they did make it to Mars, but the aliens were watching them the entire time, maybe controlling certain things, but no, I think they did make it to Mars. Or a planet. It might not have been Mars, for all we know, but a planet.
I think it was simulation. I'm on Jerry's side.
I don't know.
I'm on Jerry's side on this one. I don't know. I don't know either.
Plus, at what point in time then the aliens get them then? At what point in time?
It could have been any time. We were closed off in the ship
That's
the
what
entire
I'm saying.
movie. It could have been any point.
I don't know. We're going. I say real, you say simulation.
Doesn't matter either way. They're not explicit in either of them.
4 out of 5.
Yes, 4 out of 5. We really enjoyed it. It was very enjoyable.
Good discussion.
Good conversation. Good discussion. Go watch the episode. So we have 4 good out of 6. We're doing pretty good so far. I mean, 4 out of 6 ain't bad.
No.
Now
but the 2 that were bad, we're bad. Like, we're bad.
Yeah, the 2 that we didn't enjoy, we really didn't enjoy.
If we drop down from 4 to 2, then...
The 2 episodes we also didn't... No, I lied. Only one of them had like a big star that we knew, and one didn't. Okay. Because one had John...
Yeah, and then the other one didn't really, Anyway.
Anyways, we enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, you can reach me at Stars Untraveled, reach Amanda at KZ Pup, reach Show at Beyond Our Focus, everywhere, including YouTube and podcast services around the globe.
Maybe.
And on Mars. Mars.
California is on Mars.
Okay. We'll go with that. Till next time, long days and pleasant